it was low, but this time it's going to be high. So it is a similar movement to what we did earlier, but this time it's low. So when you point low, you will stab low in the form in this movement. When you point horizontal, you stab horizontal. So once again, step transfer weight. So you do the weight transfer slash. Because my main goal is to avoid that he can bring the point of his spear right in front of me again. At this stage he missed, it's above me, and if I can pull it behind me, that's even better. If I kick it away to the side, that's also good. But I don't want him to be able to bring the spear that is now far back in line in front of me, because I will lose that fight, because he can poke at me from a distance and I have to get close. So that is what we want to do here. So once again, I grab. But many people will have an instinctive reflex action to either lean back away from their head with their head, or flinch, startle response, and so on, to react to this sudden attack towards the eyes. There are exceptions, for instance, when somebody is heavily medicated or on drugs or has or is drunk. There are some of the examples in which the reaction is not going to be as extreme, or sometimes might not even happen at all. But on average, this tends to work. The second thing it does, this allows me to measure distance, to measure the distance for my actual attack. So this is going to make sure that if I feel the contact with his face, with his eyes, with my left hand, I know I'm close enough to do the next technique as I step in. So it's also, you could call it a measuring stick. So then we're back to the next part. I will step forward. You want to wipe everything off of the blade, just clean completely, so that any fingerprints or anything that sticks to the blade because you made contact with your body is cleaned off. Because that is what's one of the main drivers of rust and oxidation that you will have, is that the residue from the contact that you make with your fingers is going to cause that. So clean it off well. And it doesn't have to take 5 hours, just clean it off, and so that it's properly cleaned. And then you apply whatever works best for you, what you have available. That could be any type of just standard motor oil, like 3-in-1, could be something along those lines, that you use to apply a new coating. You could use.
And also because we have turn around and kick with the heel, there you lift the foot because you have to kick with the bottom of the foot as opposed to the front side.
Yeah.
So it's distinguishing that in a form is important, because again, ye intent. If I see people doing kick out in a curve with the toes up, I know the ye isn't there, because it's a different technique. It's not the right one. And again, we can find exceptions. Like I said, if you're wearing boots, sure, then you don't care because it's a steel tip that is in the shoe, so you're not going to break anything other than the guys. The guys' privates are going to get crushed, like really, really bad. But this is not that would be the exception. Another thing you can try, which is a little bit more difficult, is I'll show it. Let me see if I'll show it this way. It'll be easier to see. So when you finish with the first kick, then as you sink, slow this down a little bit and then come out of it, right? So you do the kick here off to the side, you put your foot down, you start closing, and then drive forward. So it's this sinking into the stance after the kick and the closing. To try to transition that a little bit smoother, go a little bit deeper and a little bit smoother from instead of just, and I'll show it differently. Don't just from here